Hello again, everyone. We are back up within the Gila National Forest. And right here would start a day's worth of trouble with the GoPro. Something that they're not exactly unknown for, unfortunately. Never mind, though, that first little hike didn't actually produce anything. Despite my hoping for decent weather, rain rolled in really quickly. Silver City and the whole area got absolutely dumped on, and I had to move inland very quickly. Found a couple cool flowers, but decided to take a run up to a place I've never been to before, the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument. So most of the mountain ranges out here are getting rained on right now, but right in the heart of it is the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument. And since I've just managed to make it up here by the skin of my teeth, we're gonna take a moment to look around. See if we can find the dwellings, see what the birds are that are calling. Maybe see a rock rattler or a king snake if we're lucky. Well, I guess it's gonna rain here too. Gotta close up the camera bag. We're gonna keep walking for a little bit. The structure of the mountains right here in the center of the Gila region, it's quite different from what you see driving up to them from any particular side. Of course. I think I'm staying put for a couple minutes here. So the rain is remaining kind of a constant drizzle. I've just kind of pushed along it. You can see over there one of the dwellings. We're gonna go take a look. Got this one nice dry patch right here under the rock. And I gotta walk through the rock drizzle here. Old, possibly grinding mills and home foundations. And if we look out, beautiful area. Kind of hoping the rain will stop and I might see some stuff come out right afterward. Well, the rain ended up taking a fair few minutes to actually pass by, but in that time, spent an enjoyable period poking around inside the ruins here, which are, of course, well sheltered underneath the cliffs. The people who built them knew what they were doing, and talking with the local ranger. Into. Cool. There's somebody else in here. Whoa. Natural amphitheater. Several dwellings. Very cool. The space is full of interesting little tidbits of history, which of course the interpretive signs will point to most of them. Like, if you look closely at that first image, you can actually see the shadow of old paintings that used to be on the walls, along with beautiful views outside and all sorts of little artifacts just lying around. Going down the old ladder that they've got here. Yep, just about over. That's a lot of water. And the rain has finally stopped. We're just listening to the little dribbles. Sadly, despite the nice warm weather, even after the rain had just moved through, nothing actually on the hike showed up other than some more cool wildflowers. However, as soon as I left the gate... Snake on the road, I hope he's alive. He is. Cool. Okay, try and get some photos. So there's a car coming. I hope that they won't hit him or anything. We have a huge Crotalus molossus up here. Actually showing a little bit of interesting pattern in the neck, so it might be an Ornatus intergrade. That is a big rattlesnake too. He's probably over 3.5 feet long. Absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to try and get a couple more photos and then escort him off the road. Alright, all the traffic has kind of started to bother him a little bit. There's been several cars that have just come by. But intergrade black-tailed rattlesnake. In this region where kind of the Gila and Mimbres rivers split from each other is where the two species, possibly better considered subspecies if they intergrade that fluidly, they connect over here and then down into the Animus region. So along that border they kind of blend between each other. Off to the east you get pure ornates, and then off to the west, like the one I saw last year down here, you get the western blacktails. This is about as big as they come. They don't get too much bigger than that. And he's quite a pale animal, especially compared to the last one I saw. So it's cool getting that sort of a difference in appearance. Can't really see his tail now because he's sitting on top of it, but of course they're named blacktails because they have a very, very dark tail tip and relatively pale otherwise. Anyway, because there's still cars that are coming in through here, it's not all that safe for him to be out right at this intersection, so we're going to try and convince him to get off the road. Alright, after talking with another local, we're convincing this guy to get moving. There he goes. What a big, gorgeous black. Let's see if we can get this guy out. It's a very, very large spiny lizard wedged in the rock here. Like wedged really well. Alright. Once again, I'm going to have to double check which species this actually is. There's a couple up here, but this is either a mountain or a Clark's spiny lizard or crevice. So there's several down here, and you can see why they're called spiny lizards. Look at that tail. Scaloporus species, so same genus as the prairie lizards and such that people are familiar with, eastern, western fence lizards and all that. But you can see these guys do get a little bit bigger. And they have that beautiful collar around their neck. I'm very familiar at this point with the desert spiny lizards found just a little bit further southwest. But up here you get a few other species. And they get some really pretty iridescent colors on their scales oftentimes. This one doesn't have quite as much, but there's a little bit of red in there, a little bit of green and blue. And it's really interesting too how they defend themselves. I mean, he'll give you a good bite if you put your finger in front of him. And they've got some half-decent claws, honestly. But they will wedge themselves into a crack and kind of inflate themselves so they can't be pulled out. And then they'll stick that tail up behind them so that the predator gets nothing but a face full of spines. Anyway, we've already gotten some decent photos of him. So, we will just let him go back over in the rocks over here. There you go, sir. As evening fell, I headed up and over one of the ridges in the mountain ranges, spotted this huge agave that was in flower, one of the only ones I saw in bloom too, before heading down towards the Rio Grande Valley. On the way down, sadly, a bit of tragedy struck. There was an alligator lizard on the road, and it did not register until I had already passed over him. They look like rocks, unfortunately, but had to head down into the valley, hopefully to redeem that terrible moment and find some stuff alive on the road. Well, we've got a young Great Plains toad out here. Pretty nice looking one too. He's going to try and run right under my car here, so we're going to grab him. Very nice patterns on you, sir. And put him over here. It seems to be very wet out here, so I'm hoping that means stuff is moving. Be out here. And it is a western diamondback. Look at that. Nice colored one. So try and get a couple of good photos here. Alright, he doesn't have much interest in sticking around, I guess, but we got this beautiful, relatively pale diamondback running along. Trying to get a decent view of him. But he keeps going weird directions. Not as pale as the last one we saw, not as dark as the ones further north. Anyway, he's heading off the road, so we'll let him do that. Alright, we got another one. Oh, it's a big diamondback. Look at him. Wow. He's just checking things out. Alright, beautiful. Okay. Alright. So this is definitely the biggest diamondback of the trip so far. He's actually not even as big as the blacktail we saw earlier today, but a beautiful example of the species. Relatively pale colors as well. This is pretty typical for kind of the south central New Mexico appearance, it seems. Darker edges along the diamonds, paler otherwise, very little pattern on the sides. But of course that classic coontail, although I've noticed quite a few of them out here have a very odd pattern to their tail. He's assed up a little bit because he's noticed that I am here and I am watching him. But we'll just try and help him off the road here. Alright. He seems to have maybe found a track of a rodent or something because he keeps stopping and sniffing the weeds. Very pretty though. There he goes. Off into the grass. Out to safer pastures. Oh, he's going into the bush. Wow, that's a pretty one. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's get this out. Alright, so we got diamondback number 3. It's another very big one. He's kind of hiding in the bush here. So I'm going to see if we can encourage him to come out. Oh, he's going the other way, I guess. There he is. He's a very, very pretty snake, though. I just kind of want to see him out of the bush. Because he's got a little bit darker, maybe slightly pinker colors. He's a very large animal, though. He knows I'm touching him. He's not entirely sure what's going on here. Look at that. He's pretty safe in this bush here, so I can just kind of leave him in this area. Whoops. I want to see if I can get a photo now since he's in good view. Lovely colors. Again, kind of a weird looking tail. There's a bit of kind of flushing with the coontail going on there. And now he's in a good view, so I'm going to try and get another good photo. Big old diamondback. Well, not big, but it's diamondback. So we'll get a couple of photos and move him off the road. I hope he's okay. He's just sitting here, not moving. Yep, okay, he's fine. Well, yep, that's diamondback number 4. Once again, pretty standard appearance. Got kind of the faded coloration, but clear distinction of the diamonds on the back. His tail's a little more normal looking, although a few offset bars there. He hasn't moved an inch since we came up on him, but it's no good for him to be on the road. Oh, now he moves. Let's get off the road, sir. There we go. Keep going. We don't want anybody hitting you, okay? There he goes. Beautiful. Oh my god, it's the tiniest diamondback I have ever seen. Not what I was expecting at all. So this guy is newly dropped. He's barely got his first button on, so can't even make any noise yet. He is so small, you can see by the size of that hook. Compared to him, the tiniest little thing. Had to move him really quick off the side of the road because there was a car coming. Then he was actually heading the other direction, so we're going to try and lift him up to the other side of the road again. They've got a little bit more color and pattern at this age, or he may just grow up to be more high contrast animal compared to others around here. Cool either way though. Anyway, we'll get him off the road, or to the other side of the road now. Oops. We got another snake. I can't see what it... Oh. Oh, hey, another one of you. Look at that. It's a painted desert glossy. Beautiful. So we have this beautiful painted desert glossy snake who is about full size. They don't get much more than like 2 feet long. This one's kind of unique because he's got this like light colored stripe going down his back that you can kind of see there. It's nice that he's staying still, posing for us to see that. You can see those light blotches going down the back, makes them look very similar to their relative, the rat snakes, particularly the Great Plains rat snake, which might be out in this area, although they're more in the Rio Grande Valley than anything. Also, that kinking behavior is very similar as well. Thought to maybe make them resemble like just a stick, so that predators just kind of pass them over. He's hoping I'm not actually seeing him, which is why he's staying so nice and still for photos. There was a little bit of rain out here, which might be why this guy has come out, because they tend to move when there's a little bit more moisture or when it's cooler out. Like these guys, you'll often see them even when it's down to almost 50 degrees at night. So, anyway, since we've already got a few photos, we're going to pick him up and get him off the road. Alright, sir. Ready? Gonna touch ya. Gonna pick you up. Oh, yes. Hi. What a very white, shiny belly. Yeah, I know. What are you doing? You're okay. We're just gonna bring you over here where it's safe, okay? Oh, no, go out that way. There you go. Beautiful. Run, run. And there he goes. Well, after the Glossy, I'm afraid, despite another almost 2 hours of driving, nothing else showed up. Put in my best attempt, but the target species for the night remained elusive. It seemed like it should have been good. There was clearly moisture from rain that had fallen earlier today, but just kind of struck out. Means I'm going to have to come back down here, though, at some point. We have one more day in New Mexico tomorrow, officially. Going to try and see if I can scrounge up one of the native garter snakes that lives down in the valley here. And then going to see what might be poking around up in the northeast plains, heading back towards home. It's the northernmost range, give or take, of the western diamondback around here. I know we've seen a lot of those guys, but it'd be cool to see how different they look just going over the central mountains, basically. As well as still a chance for a few other things like Great Plains rat snakes, plains ground snakes, and a few others. But until then, certainly if you enjoy watching videos like this and you'd like to help support educational materials like this and the blogs and other tidbits that I write, please consider joining as a patron at patreon.com/hcarlton. Members there get early access to the videos as well as other exclusive benefits. We also take one-time donations that can be given via Coffee. That link will also be in the video description below, as well as links to the website carltoncarnivores.com, where you can find plants and animals sometimes available for sale, as well as access to the blog and information database that I'm building, files on different species of snakes and carnivorous plants and other cool things. And of course, if you want to hear more tidbits, see photos, little video clips, you can always find me on social media at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Carlton Carnivores. And certainly, please help support the channel just by liking the videos, leaving comments, subscribing, sharing them. Attention helps. We're getting really close at this point to reaching the monetization point on YouTube, at which point I can start getting paid for doing this, and we might be able to fit even more trips in the future. But until then, I'm Hawken Carlton, and this is Carlton Carnivores.